So I just got done rolling credits on the final episode of Demon Slayer, episode 11, No Matter How Many Lives. And when I sit here to review and be a critic of Demon Slayer each and every week, I kind of have a hard time doing it this season. And the main reason behind that, the main driving force that I have some struggles to do that is just because this season of Demon Slayer has just been so damn good. Like, the Entertainment District arc has been honestly like one of the best arcs in anime. Like, I would put this easily top 10 arcs in anime in a long time. And I do have some arcs in there. I have a Sword Art arc in there. I know you guys don't like Sword Art, but I got a Sword Art in there. I got a Bleach arc. I even have a Naruto arc in there, even though I'm not really a Naruto fan. I have a Yu Yu Hakusho one in there. I have 2 Dragon Ball arcs in there. And I really think that Demon Slayer deserves to be in that conversation. Now, where I would put it, I mean, I'm fresh off the boat of watching this, so I mean, I don't really know exactly where that would fit. But if you made a really sounding argument for top 5, I'd probably be like, yeah, absolutely. Like, Entertainment District arc has been absolutely just fire. I'm talking about the level of storytelling, the level of character development, especially for the 5 characters. I mean, I guess you could call it 4 or 5. I guess if our 6 characters that we had this season. So those, obviously those four characters, our main ones being, obviously Tanjiro, Tengen, Inosuke, Zenitsu. But then obviously you have these other 2 characters that they just went ham in, and that is between Gyutaro, and Daki, right? And you have those 2 as being our antagonists this season. But what episode 11 and even kind of episode number 10 too, what these 2 last episodes did is they kind of flipped the script on us a little bit. And we really got a really in-depth look at both of kind of their backstories. Like, we've gotten kind of like shots of prior history between the 2. But episode 11 really spent a really good sizable chunk looking back on them and really making you kind of feel for them specifically. And between the 2, obviously Daki is, Bishoujo, gorgeous character, all this other stuff. And she's a crybaby, and you have to really, sympathize with that and empathize with that. And you have to really appreciate that. But when you have Gyutaro or Gyutaro, I don't know. You guys let me know how you specifically say his name in the comments. I don't think I've ever heard it actually said it during the anime. But when you have him specifically and the upbringing that he had, what he had to face, the adversity that he had to face throughout life, being who he was, being born where he was, being raised the way he was, being seen the way he was, being treated the way he was. Like, he is the epitome of just having it rough. And his saving grace through life was his sister, Ume, or Daki, or whatever, right? And I really, normally I'm not a big, when we get to these big fights and stuff, and then we suddenly have a flashback, 9 times out of 10, I freaking hate it. This one, though, there wasn't a huge fight, so it wasn't like the fight stalled. Like, right before Tanjiro took Homeboy's head, we suddenly get a 30-minute flashback. That would have been terrible. But this one was more tastefully done because these guys are already dead. And Tanjiro is doing the Tanjiro thing where he's trying to provide peace to the demon. Because he doesn't necessarily hate these people, right? He doesn't necessarily hate these demons. He understands. He tries to understand why they're doing what they're doing, why they're doing where they're coming from, and then he tries to provide them some kind of peace. And especially for Tanjiro, in seeing these 2 argue, and their final words are being these vicious things to each other, it kind of breaks his heart a little bit. So we have him doing the Tanjiro thing, trying to be peacemaker between these guys, as they're kind of sharing their last words with each other. I think that was really tastefully done. And then, their whole backstory, like, if you didn't feel anything, like, I don't know, you monster. Not just kidding. But, like, if you didn't feel anything, like, that's, A, that's okay. But B, like, I think it's going to invoke a lot of feelings in a lot of people, being able to, again, sympathize and empathize with these 2 characters for everything that they went through and kind of how they overcame that and how they had adversity through that. And both of them, especially Gyutaro, was definitely a product of his environment. he wouldn't have necessarily been bad, evil, a killer, etc. if his environment didn't call for those actions. Then once his sister was born, it became even more so because now he's a protector. He's a father. Essentially, he's like, he's a brother, but he raised her. He protected her. He taught her. So, like, he's a product of his environment. Same kind of goes for Daki. She's kind of a product of her environment as well, too, by having her brother there be a product of his environment. So it all really flows together, and it made sense, and I thought it was a really beautiful story in a very demoralizing and drastic and just sad way. It was a really good story that they both told. That was really interesting. And also they also introduced us to another person who probably still exists of the upper six as well. I don't know what that dude's name was, but the one who turned them into demons. We got introduced to him as well. So that's obviously another drop in the pool of the top 6 demons or whatever. Then we got a flashback, or I guess we got a update on the guy. I don't remember what his name is, but the one who defeated Rengoku during the Mugen Train arc, because he's part of the upper 6 as well. We got his point of view being called into Michael Jackson's corridors, Mr. Muzan, because an upper 6 demon was defeated. So we got his view there. So we're probably going to get introduced to some of the other demons as kind of the next arc comes in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever that timeline is. Which, I know a lot of us are thinking like, I'll see you in 2 years or something. But I think the timeline will probably be about a year or so, just because of the amount of money that Demon Slayer makes. And if you guys have been following at all the Ufotable stuff with them dealing with taxes and their CEO potentially going to jail for tax evasion, and the studio kind of like, they're barely making it with their high level of production and then their cost, and then what they get back from that, like they're just basically breaking even. So they probably can't take too long, because Demon Slayer is really like, that's their driving force for Ufotable. So they probably can't spend too long. They're probably going to take like a 2 or 3 month break or something, maybe even less, and then start on the next arc, depending if the source, I don't know, you guys have to let me know, I don't know how long the source material is, but if the source material is there for it, they're probably going to start on the next arc or the next movie, probably very soon, considering how Demon Slayer broke records and stuff. But last couple of things, I really enjoyed the Tengen stuff. I love that his girls, the one specifically was just like, she wouldn't even let him get, our homeboy was trying to get in his last words, and she wouldn't let him because she was just losing her mind. She was losing her shit, you know what I mean? And he wasn't able to get in his last words. And he was having a realization. He's like, I might not even be able to say my last words because the poison's taking over my tongue. And I was like, no, Tengen. But thankfully, Nezuko was able to come through and save Tengen from his poisoning, save, obviously, Tanjiro from the poisoning, save Inosuke from the poisoning, and her blood demon art is definitely extremely unique and extremely dangerous towards demons themselves, which I think is pretty insane too. So overall, I'm extremely excited for the next, for what comes next for Demon Slayer. I cannot wait until this arc gets dubbed, because the dub is extremely good for Demon Slayer, so I hope that revitalizes it once again. And I will rewatch it once again. I probably will watch it from I'll probably watch it from the Mugen Train all the way through here again. Once that ends up happening, and I think this was just very good and a very good bow to put on this thing. One last thing I'll leave you guys on is this episode. It was all over Twitter and stuff. That was supposed to be 45 minutes. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a time wizard, but this episode logged in at right before credits, 29 minutes. Do y'all know what's up with that? Like, I was like, yo, this was supposed to be a 45-minute special. This was a 29-minute special. Like, again, I'm not a mathematician. I don't have a degree in timeology, but, like, that ain't 45 minutes. So let me know what you guys think about that, too. All right, I'll leave you guys that. We'll see you guys for the next... Well, we'll see you on more anime here on the channel. Leave me some love. Leave me a like before you dip out. And I'll definitely be here for the next season or movie or whatever comes next for Demon Slayer. All right, my friends. Happy Sunday. Peace out.